A special thank you to each of our subscribers who make this channel possible. Here's today's story. In a significant escalation of tensions in the South China Sea, the Chinese military announced on Wednesday that it had monitored and drove away a U.S. destroyer, the USS Higgins, which sailed near the disputed Scarborough Shoal. This incident marks the first known U.S. military operation in the waters surrounding the shoal in over 6 years, occurring just a day after the Philippines accused Chinese vessels of dangerous maneuvers and unlawful interference during a supply mission around the atoll. The Scarborough Shoal, known as Huangyan Island in China, has been a long-standing point of contention between China and the Philippines, both of whom claim sovereignty over the area. The Chinese military's Southern Theater Command stated that the USS Higgins had entered the waters without approval of the Chinese government, asserting that the U.S. action represented a serious infringement on China's sovereignty. According to the Chinese Defense Ministry, the presence of the USS Higgins in these waters severely undermines peace and stability in the South China Sea and violates international law and basic norms governing international relations. The South China Sea is a critical shipping lane, with over $3 trillion in annual trade passing through its waters, making the geopolitical stakes exceptionally high. On the other hand, the U.S. Navy's 7th Fleet defended the operation, describing it as a freedom of navigation operation consistent with international law. Sarah Merrill, a spokesperson for the fleet, stated, "China's statement about this mission is false. The United States is defending its right to fly, sail, and operate wherever international law allows." This confrontation comes amid heightened tensions between Washington and Beijing, which have been exacerbated by a trade dispute that has seen both nations issue inflammatory statements. In March, China warned it was prepared for a trade war or any other type of war, although tensions appeared to have subsided since then. Adding to the complexity, a Chinese warship recently collided with one of its own Coast Guard vessels while pursuing a Philippine patrol boat, highlighting the volatile nature of maritime interactions in the region. China's overarching claim to nearly all of the South China Sea is based on its so-called Nine-Dash Line, a claim that has been rejected by an international arbitration court in the Netherlands in 2016. The ruling found no legal or historical basis for Beijing's assertions, yet China continues to disregard this decision. The Philippines has reported several incidents involving confrontations between Chinese and Filipino vessels, including the use of water cannons and laser targeting of Philippine patrol aircraft. In a statement earlier this year, Philippine President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. indicated that if a Filipino citizen were to be killed in an altercation involving the Chinese Coast Guard, it would be considered a red line and could bring the Philippines very close to defining it as an act of war. This sentiment is echoed in the Mutual Defense Treaty between the U.S. and the Philippines, established in 1951, which treats an attack on one as an attack on the other. As the situation continues to unfold, both nations remain on high alert, with the U.S. Navy committed to asserting navigational rights in the South China Sea. The USS Higgins, an Arleigh Burke-class Aegis-guided missile destroyer, has now exited the area of what the U.S. deems excessive maritime claims and is continuing its regular operations in the region. The Scarborough Shoal remains a flashpoint for geopolitical tension, and the actions of both the U.S. and China will be closely scrutinized in the coming days. With both sides unwilling to back down, the potential for further conflict looms large, making the South China Sea one of the most critical theaters of modern international relations. That's all for this story. We upload videos every day covering many different subjects, so hit that subscribe button to stay informed. Thanks for watching.